It's a special interview with Senator Abaribe from Abia State, former Deputy Governor of Abia State and leader of the Minority Caucus of the Nigerian Senate. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today.
My pleasure.
I would like us to start from the events at the Senate. Many Nigerians thought the Senate would pass the Electoral bill stipulating electronic transmission of results. But that was not what happened at the end of the day. Can you explain to us why the Senate that you are part of decided to vote in that manner?
Well, whatever I say will simply be speculation. But I think what happened, very simple, is that certain interests were being protected by those who felt that electronic transmission of results and openness and transparency is not what they would like. And I say this very with all sense of responsibility. In order to explain what happened, we need to go back in time. There was a committee on INEC on both chambers, in the House and in the Senate. They met severally last year. They met with INEC, they met with all the agencies, they met with everybody that was involved. They had joint conferences, there was public hearings, there was everything. The civil society groups, everyone came in. Then there was a draft. That draft had been ready since January. And that draft stipulated that it was time and that there would be electronic transmission of results. And then there started to be delays from January 30th when they left. And with the delays going on, and we continue to ask, where is this bill? Why don't we bring it out? Because we don't want what happened in the 8th Senate to happen, where the president, it was sent to him 3 times, he sent it back, and then at the end said there wasn't enough time, and therefore he withheld assent. And we said, no, let's do this quickly. It had dragged on to now in June. About a couple of weeks ago, we started hearing rumors that what had been agreed by the committee, by the joint committee, with INEC agreeing on electronic transmission, that it was tampered with. And of course, when we asked, we were not told, no, it wasn't true, this and that. Then there was a leak, which I'm sure you also saw, of a new insertion, which is what they said that was 52.2, where it said, provided that there will be no transmission. That was what was seen, and everybody, there was an uproar. And we went back to the committee chairman, and then, of course, they constituted a meeting, and there was another joint session in which they now agreed on this 52.1, 2, and 3. And 52.3, which was a concession by everybody, now said that there would be transmission of results when and where practicable, which was kind of like a halfway house for everyone. And we thought that we had all agreed on it. And we all said, okay, so let's just take the halfway house. And we thought that coming to the floor, that what we will do will simply be just to pass, and then we can lay all these things to rest. But then, getting to the floor, we now saw an ambush. And I use the word ambush because when a joint committee meets and does everything, and we are consulted, and everybody says, fine, the committee, we normally let what committee does to pass. But on the floor, Senator from Niger State, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, now put up another motion on that 52-3 to say that there should be transmission of results only when NCC and the National Assembly, in other words, introducing something else, another umpire into the mix. And this was clearly against Section 78 of the Constitution. And so we also rose, and of course you could see that there was a hula-ballo, and we decided to go into a closed session. In the closed session, we also canvassed this view that we cannot pass a law that is going to be against the Constitution. The Constitution is very clear. Any law we pass that is antithetical to the Constitution is null and void. So how could the same National Assembly, who have sworn under a Constitution, seeing the provision in the Constitution, Section 78, that only INEC is empowered to do anything about elections, now want to introduce NCC and National Assembly itself? In fact, bringing in National Assembly into the electoral process means that the National Assembly is no longer outside, that we have stepped into the arena, which no court will agree with. And so, when we canvassed that view, and it was not taken, and there was just this whole thing about, oh, where we come from, there is no network, this and that. And I showed them, personally myself, and I said, I have a document from NCC that says that 90.8% of the country is covered. And that INEC has also said that what they're doing is not just for saying that there's no network, that you simply snap, and when you reach where there is network, that it simply syncs.
Just like it happens with the WhatsApp.
Just like it happens with WhatsApp, or level with other provisions, what happens with your text messages and so forth. And so we felt that it was simply done, than those who are doing it know where they want to do it. In other words, they don't want anything electronic. And we also didn't want the situation that normally happens when we caucus, and then we come back and we say, okay, we are withdrawn our distance. So we now insisted, no, let us all vote. Let Nigerians see what their representatives actually do. And I'm
just
glad.
Like it happened during the third term.
Precisely, just like it happened during the third term. So I'm glad that Nigerians could now locate those who were there, those who were not there, those who voted for transparency, and those who did not. So that you can now engage your representative and ask him, why did you take this step? Because most times we all fall under the rubric of ayes or nays. And then when the question comes, when you go back to your constituents, you tell your constituents, oh no, I voted nay, but you see they overruled me and all that. So this time, nobody can hide.
Now, talking about that clause that Honorable Sabi Abdullahi introduced, can you hazard a guess as to how the Senate could have performed that role, or how the Senate is envisioned to perform that role by the author of the clause on election day, for example?
That's what I'm saying. It is a role that we cannot play, and he knows. I think all they just did,
because you are involved with your own election day, and mobilizing people.
How are you going to do that? I think what just happened is simply looking for something to torpedo that agreement that had been reached at the committee level. In fact, I was joking with the chairman of the committee Senator Gaya, and I said to Senator Gaya, why did you vote against even your own committee's recommendation? And, of course, he could say, oh no, that he had a better argument. So how will it be better? If somebody brings an argument that is anti the Constitution, and you say it's better, how would you say it's better? But anyway, those are the things that happen.
Did you at any point entertain any fear that what transpired at the Senate could happen?
Yes, I did. I knew. I was ready. I'm the minority leader, and my job is to anticipate things. Even I went a step further. I also had, assuming that we had been prevented from doing that voice vote. I already also had a written motion on rescission. A motion on rescission is that when we have passed something, you can bring a motion on rescission to look at it again, but it has to be written. I already packaged those things and kept. Our job is to be ready at all times to do the thing that is in the interest of the country.
There were people who felt that this was the voting was along the lines of North and South. Was that really what transpired?
No, the voting was basically along the lines of party, except for a few people from my party that voted against.